Hey Thunder fans, welcome to Off the Tracks, the weekly coaches show where we break down the weekend that was and the future week for the Bloomington Thunder with head coach Dennis Williams and a couple of the Thunder players. We got a good show on for you today as we'll get Shane Bednard on the mic and Joshua Shellman. But first, we've got head coach Dennis Williams, and I appreciate the time here, Willie. It's especially after the weekend, a busy one here through Michigan.
Yeah, it's real busy, yeah. Obviously the two games on the road, and then Odie and I took off on Saturday night and drove through that snowstorm down to Michigan there as well in the state of Michigan to do some recruiting, and got home late last night, so it's good to be back and see the kids.
We got a busy one also coming up this next weekend. We had a 3-3, but let's first talk about this past weekend and the trip to Michigan, and really some good hockey, especially that Friday game against Team USA for your hockey club, and it seems like everything's clicking for this team. Everything's going in the right direction. The wins just aren't falling over, just missing on one goal, really, it seems, in most of those games.
Yeah, and as I said to the guys, we've cleaned up a lot of our game. We're doing a lot of good things right now, and you know what it is. We get evaluated though by, like we've said last week, wins and losses. So there's nothing I can say to the guys after the games Friday and Saturday that make them feel any better. Mm-hmm. Sympathy pats just don't do it. Like I get them, but we're as coaches, we're still evaluated on winning and moving players on, and it's a process though, and that's one of the words we keep using with our guys. Like, keep buying into the process. It's going to turn, and it's you don't know when it's going to turn. Obviously, we would like to have turned a couple weeks ago, but it's taken us a little bit longer than what we thought. But by no means is it a lack of effort by our young men or a lack of commitment or buy-in. I'm really happy with the group, and we gotta find a way to win some of these. We close on Saturday as well. It's a 1-1 game going to the third. They scored a big goal there to wrap up the second period, which gave them some probably a little boost there going in the third. And a couple of their goals they scored their second and third goal in Muskegon were just really bad mistakes by us. We weren't playing in our systems. We had guys flying the zone, and instead of being underneath the pile, they were cheating. Next thing you know, it's 3-1 and emptying our 4-1. So we know our mistakes. We know what we're doing. We just now have to try to get those minimized, right? Yeah. And if we do that, then it's going to give us a chance to win hockey games.
So let's talk about that Friday game too against the Team USA, top developmental team really in the country with the top prospects, and you guys hold them all the way into the shootout. And I know it was a very solid game by David Jacobson, and the club just all around, especially in that second and third period, just turned it on like a light switch.
Yeah, it was a good test. They're a lot bigger than us. You could see there was times there where guys had a hard time, especially our defensemen, with their big forwards. We had a really hard time. There's 30, 40 seconds at a time they might have been in our zone, but our guys did a really good job of packing it in, not giving them the grade A areas. And, that's a team there that they probably, they overpass too much. They should probably shoot the puck more because they can all shoot pucks, but they always look for that second or third pass there. And it was an advantage to us because we had all our guys in the right spots and had numbers in net front, and we didn't really give up a lot of grade A chances. And when we did, David was good in net, and we go to shootout. And before that, the third and overtime, I thought we did a pretty good job, and we outshot them pretty badly, but we had some chances, pucks on our stick there right at the end of the game, 2-on-0 kind of net front and turnover, and then the 5-on-4, and then the 4-on-3 in overtime. We just didn't capitalize. So we stayed out of the box again this weekend, which was good. I know we gave them, I think, 4 power plays. We killed those 4 off, and and then it came shootout time, right? And it's it would go 8 shooters, was it? Is that what you said? Yeah. 8, and obviously both goalies did fantastic. David did great, and you look back like, can one guy just score?
Right.
I'm sure they're saying the same thing, before, but it was it was a tough one to swallow because our guys they worked hard. I thought the first period we were a little sluggish getting off. Being on the bus for 8 hours, that normally does that to guys, and but as the game got on, you see the improvement, the intensity, and the speed pickup. So I was very happy with the effort.
And especially in that game, you saw, like you mentioned, they were a bigger hockey team, but your team really fought through the checking from that program and fought through those hard-nosed areas and really started adjusting to that hockey game in that second period. What kind of adjustments were made really in between periods to kind of counteract that?
Well, there wasn't a lot. I think it was just more getting our bus legs kind of out of us, and we obviously played a little different forecheck. We weren't ultra aggressive because with a team like that, they can make a couple passes and they'll be down your ice pretty fast. So we were on a high 1-2-2, almost a 1-4 forecheck, keeping numbers back, forcing them to dump pucks. And that was a team we thought they don't like to dump pucks because they're a puck possession team. Sorry, so when you're forced to dump it, your support's not there to go retrieve pucks, right? So they were getting to the blue line and having only one guy in the forecheck. The guy whoever dumps it was a lone forechecker, but then we were able to outnumber him, I thought. And so it's it was we play him again here, I think, in the new year. I don't know if we still got him this year or not. Haven't looked that far ahead, but definitely, even though we fell short in that shootout, I was real proud of our guys and the way they stuck together and the effort. And I don't think if you were to ask people, I don't think too many people were going to give us a chance in that game. And our guys showed that, with great teamwork, work ethic, and buy-in. I think you can win games in this league. And it's not going to come easy, but as long as everyone competes the same, buys in the same, plays for each other, and then the big part is you got to have 5 guys on the ice that are all playing the same game. If you have one guy off the track, and then everybody's off. So, like I said, I was real proud of them, and we just fell short on Saturday.
We're here with head coach Dennis Williams talking off the tracks. Bloomington Thunder coming off a weekend where they picked up a point in the shootout against Team USA. They've got a tough test this weekend, taking on Youngstown twice, and then headed to Muskegon on Sunday to take on the Lumberjacks in the second game in a week, really, against the Jacks. This weekend against Youngstown, first to start off those 2 games. They're at home. You haven't seen Muskegon in a while at home. But this is a team that's kind of been the bane of this hockey team as of early in the season. It'll be the 6th and 7th time you play them this year through the first 3 months of the season. It's got to be nice to see them a couple times, and it's also got to be good to get them out of the way as we go later in the season as well, right?
Well, you like to see it spread out a little bit.
Yeah.
They're a good hockey team, and I think we're a good hockey team. So it should be a good game come Friday.
And Youngstown, one of those teams, I know the discipline's been there for the last couple games and the last big stretch here for Bloomington. The Taylor back was back to those Youngstown games for you. Now coming into this game with the discipline going on and really this team going 5-on-5 against Youngstown was very good. What's the expectation here this weekend, 5-on-5 taking on the Youngstown Phantoms?
I think nothing changes. A lot of people are talking to me about the record. Like, those games are done. Yep. I'm focused on Friday night. It's a new day, new game. Our mentality's changed. We made some roster moves. We're looking at this team no different. We just looked at Dubuque or Cedar we played, or Muskegon, or we have to go out and manufacture wins no matter who it is we're playing, right? So, it's we got 2 great opponents this weekend. 3-3, and it's nice to be in our own bed for Thursday, Friday, and then we're gonna have to head back on the road for Saturday night and get over to Muskegon for a 5 o'clock game, and so it doesn't get much easier, right? Like it's a battle, it's a test, it's a good test. And that's what's great about this league. Yeah. That's why it's the best junior league in what I consider all of North America. It's even, it's tough, it's a grind. There's great coaches, great players, great organizations, great teams, and that's what makes it fun. It's always nice. Like, you like to win hockey games. Don't get me wrong, as many as you can. But these games, you're in every game, and as a coach, you have to be on your toes every game. Like I've said before, if we're not on our toes, we can easily cost us a win, because the other coaches in the league are so good, and their players are good, and it makes for a fun weekend. A lot of sleepless nights lately, and a lot of areas where you're trying to tweak and improve, but you wouldn't want it any other way. Like, of course, we want more wins, like I said, but at the same time, it's fun to coach in these games. It's fun to play in these games as players. They're battles, it's a half a stride there, it's a chip puck there, it's a turnover here, it's a capitalizing on a goal or a turnover there. That's how close the games are right now, and you've seen them, and sooner or later, hopefully they start to fall our way. But as I said to our guys, there's we make our own luck. We have to get over this together, and we'll stick to the game plan.
So the toughest part too about those 3-3 is obviously it's the playing 3 games in 3 days. Mm-hmm. But for the guys, is there anything else outside of the I wouldn't call it the exhaustion, but the fatigue effect over 3-3 to play, especially when the last game's on the road?
Yeah, it's obviously a tough schedule when Muskegon's sitting off Saturday night too, I think, right? So, but everyone has them, so we call these character builders. We got up after sleeping 5 hours Saturday night. Huddy and I to go recruiting. Mm-hmm. Got up at 7 o'clock after in the hotel at 2, and Huddy turns to me at 7:15 and says, "Character builder today," and it is. It's there's no excuses. These guys are young men and playing in the top tier league. And their conditioning should be top notch. And right now, the biggest thing, as I said to the guys, is we got to take care of our bodies. The cold weather's coming in, flu's coming in, right. Colds are coming in. We got to wash our hands, eat properly, drink properly, rest properly right now, and really, just take care of the things that we can control. Right now, and then when the puck drops, it's game time. We got to give 110%, and we play. From the drop of that first puck to the last buzzer, and whatever the score is, it's kind of a mute thing for us. We want to evaluate how we're playing and sticking to a plan and structure, and our opponent is almost a faceless opponent that we're more concerned about us.
So we're talking with head coach Dennis Williams here on Off the Tracks. Coming up this weekend, 2 games, both against the Youngstown Phantoms here from the U.S. Cellular Coliseum. Kids also get in free throughout the month of November all the way up till Christmas. 12 and under, you come on into the box office. Offers valid there, and you can get your kids in free to the U.S. Cellular Coliseum. But the game's coming up. Olive Garden Family Night on Friday. Get 4 tickets for $50 and a $25 gift card to the Olive Garden while supplies last, and then specialty jersey night for O'Brien Mitsubishi on Saturday night. You can bid on those jerseys following the game against the Youngstown Phantoms. And Coach, let's just talk about the recent move you made, bringing in a guy like Jeremy Davies from the Waterloo Blackhawks. What does he bring to this team in the next couple games, and also moving forward through this season?
I think he brings us some offense. He's a younger player, still finishing up some high school classes there, I believe. But one that played on a very good Waterloo team and on their power play, and that's somewhere. If you look at right now, we scored 2 power play goals on Friday against the USA team with Van scoring both of them. But we're also. I think we need to manufacture and score more goals on our opportunities. We had a 4-on-3 there that that has to be buried to me. There's not too many times you get a 4-on-3 and you talk about a shift. Where they kill it, now they're excited and going right. And it was our chance to bury them, and we didn't. So, I think Jeremy adds that to us on the blue line. But again, it's not any pressure put on him or anything. He just gives us one more tool up top to work with, and if he walks in and can help our power play, great. If he can't, we're no further ahead or behind. We just got to keep working at it and keep battling. But we're very excited to have him. Obviously, to acquire a player of his caliber is great, not only for this program but for the city. And
you get a guy from Quebec as well. So obviously not a language barrier, but it'll be interesting to see the English, how he's doing there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have anyone on our team that can speak French, but he sounded pretty good on the phone, so I think he'll be okay.
All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate the time here. We'll get you back on the mic next week on Monday here on Off the Tracks. Thanks, and best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.
That's head coach Dennis Williams. We'll be right back right after this on Off the Tracks, and we'll get Shane Bednard and Josh Shellman on the mic. Don't go anywhere. You're listening right here on Bloomington Thunder TV. Hey everybody, welcome back to Off the Tracks here on Bloomington Thunder TV. You can also catch the re-air on Cities 92.9, 7:30 morning on Saturday. We're here with forward Shane Bednard for your Bloomington Thunder. And Bedsy, I appreciate the time here. It's finally good to get you on the mic.
Well, thanks for having me. I've been waiting all year for it, so it feels great to get the call.
Yeah, we did the story on you earlier in the year. It was good.
That's true. That's true.
Well, Bedsy will kind of touch on everything, but first off, I want to also mention Shane's doing the Movember cause. Head to Movember.com and vote for your favorite Bloomington Thunder, especially this guy right here. You want to vote for him.
Maybe give me some help.
You need some help.
Yeah.
I need some help as well on there. You can vote for any of your Bloomington Thunder players and hope that they are the 2014-15 Bloomington Thunder Movember Man of the Year. And Bedsy, it's always good to raise money for a cause. What's the vibe been in the locker room over the last couple of weeks getting these stashes going?
Well, it's been very competitive in the room. Some guys are chirping. There's a lot of chirps flying out there. Almost 20 years for me, and I still haven't been able to grow a full mustache. Maybe throw some dye on there in a few days, and see where it goes from there.
We'll get it for the final video and the final pictures. We'll make sure we get it up there for you.
All right, thank you. Maybe throw a fake one on there.
Oh yeah. We'll Photoshop that right on. So Bedsy, we'll kind of touch on your career and where you've been and kind of where you're going with your hockey career. And first off, let's talk about the growing up just outside of Detroit. And you had a little bit of a homecoming this weekend going to Ann Arbor playing against Team USA. But what was it like growing up and playing around the Detroit area, and where did you kind of start to begin the hockey life?
Well, growing up in the Detroit area, Detroit's known for their hockey. They're in Michigan. A lot of guys play hockey growing up. Everyone in the neighborhood played street hockey. So, like I said earlier, that's where I started off, was in the streets. Around 2 years old, I started getting on the ice with the parents, and that's kind of just pushing around the garbage can. Mm-hmm. But growing up, I've always loved the game. Grew up as a Red Wings fan my whole life, of course, being in Detroit. Mm-hmm. The whole room was always Red Wings. In the backyard, we had ponds growing up all the time. Me and my brother would go out, play some pond hockey. Just growing up in Detroit, just being around hockey, that definitely helped out. Like wanting to play hockey even more, even though you already loved the game, but just being around it all the time definitely helped out.
Was there kind of a moment where you kind of flip on the light switch and see, okay, I'm getting better at this and I can maybe move on and move into some of these junior programs?
Well, yeah, I mean, my freshman year, I played AA hockey my whole life, and freshman year I got cut from one of the AA teams that I tried out for and didn't really have a place to go. There was a high school about an hour away from my house, and it was a dormitory school, so talked to my parents. I almost went there my freshman year, but I wasn't sure if I was ready for the move. And then sophomore year, I was definitely ready. I visited campus, and I loved it there. Mm-hmm. So I ended up going there, and I lived there for 3 years. And my senior year, I got to live with my brother. But I played Orchard Lake St. Mary's for 3 years, my sophomore, junior, and senior year. Once I hit junior year, I knew like this is what I wanted to do, and I wanted to play juniors. That like just being around there and seeing the guys move on from the school, and just being a hockey school, like I knew I wanted to move on from there. And that's really where you put in the extra time and the extra effort. And then I graduated, and I ended up staying back another year, played AAA hockey for Detroit Little Caesars. Mm-hmm. And then the last year I played in Johnstown with the Tomahawks, and it was a great year with them. It was a great junior experience for the first year. You got to see everything. The ownership there was amazing. The coaches were great, and I just took it from there, and now I ended up being here.
So tell me about the family affair too, with you and your brother being close in age, and you're playing also for you played for Johnstown. He's now there. He's drafted by the Youngstown Phantoms and in that whole system, and you guys are both now committed to go play at Bowling Green State. Have you guys just been in talks with each other throughout the way and said, hey, we're going to try and go this way? Or
honestly not. I don't know how it's worked out that way, to be honest. It's just kind of, he just went that way, but everything he's gotten, he's definitely earned. He's one of the hardest workers I know. He's always working on his stuff in the basement. We got a little shooting room back there. He's a goalie, throws on his pads. He'll always be working on his stance and everything, and he's definitely deserved everything he's gotten. It's pretty cool that he's been able to go where I've been and get to experience what he's experienced, and I'm excited to play college hockey with him.
Now, sometimes when you're growing up, I've heard this from a couple people, that the younger brother kind of gets guilted into being the goaltender. Was that what was happening when you were younger?
Well, actually,
just said, hey, get in the net and put the pads
That's
on.
definitely how it started. He was a forward playing when he was younger, and then I just always threw him out in net in the street or in the basement when we shoot pucks, and he'd get in the net, and he just ended up loving it. And pond hockey, he'd throw on the pads, and it kind of just worked out for him, and he just fell in love with goalie.
So now you're here in the USHL, the new expansion franchise, and you were the first pick in the Phase 2 draft for Bloomington coming into the USHL. When you're getting ready for the year, how much confidence did that show you that this team wanted you to be here with this program?
Well, it definitely showed that they wanted me being the first round draft pick, but I knew that nothing was going to be handed, and it's just there was a lot of work that was to come ahead, and I just worked for it every day, and I just wanted to be here so badly to play for this team, be on the expansion team. I know it is an expansion team, but like you've heard plenty of times, we want to be the best that we can be. We're going through a little rut right now, but I know we're going to get through it as a team. We're all pulling together, working hard, so it's going to turn around here pretty soon, I believe.
So, and moving in through different teams, I mean, you've been through it where almost in the last 3 or 4 years, you've been on a different team every year. When you come into a new locker room and a new environment, how tough is it for guys to mesh and start to get to know each other? I know it's from other guys talking, it's been pretty easy here, right?
It definitely was easy. I think I started hanging out with the guys 2 days when I got here. Everyone opened up to each other pretty quick here. It was a great environment in the locker room, great atmosphere, and the guys here really blended in well, and we all get along really well here.
So tell me about Bowling Green State and when the commitment was made and where you were kind of going when you're looking at colleges. Where is the deciding factor, and what made you go with Bowling Green?
Well, Bowling Green, I've always grown up watching. They're in the CCHA, so they always played around my hometown in Detroit, 'cause they played the Michigan State, Michigan, and all those teams around there. So I'd always watched them. Last year, they showed a little bit of interest in me, and they came out and watched a few more times, and they gave me a call and told me they wanted to bring me out for a visit. So I went out on a visit with my parents, and I just fell in love with the campus and the coaches. Just what they want there. They want greatness, and that's what I'm all about. And I just want to be the best I can be every day, and they're going to push me to be the best I can be. And just the coaching, the players there, it's just everything was the perfect fit. So
now there's obviously other teams involved in most guys making the decision. You don't have to reveal names of schools or anything like that. But when you're making the decision, what was kind of the deciding factor that brought you to Bowling Green?
Well, to be honest with you, it's just what they preach there and what they want to be is just the greatness, like I said. They have all the opportunity there to succeed. Obviously, college hockey's a goal for everybody, but after college hockey, you do want to play professional hockey, and I believe that's going to give me a great chance to do that. They give all the tools are there to succeed, and just got to go there and take them.
You got a little bit of time to decide, but have you thought about where you're going to possibly major and what you'd like to go in as far as careers?
I've been pushing back and forth, either communications or kind of like forensic investigation, like criminal justice type stuff. So
communications, not a bad place to be if you're at Bowling Green.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Too bad.
Well, you'll be on the other side of the mic then, asking me questions sometime in the future.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get there, but I don't know the way you're going pretty quick.
Hey,
you're moving up in the ranks.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, Bedsy, as you were mentioning, this weekend, obviously a tough test coming against the Youngstown Phantoms, and really the team has, I wouldn't call it had a tough time over the last couple weeks against them, but this is a very tough hockey team, and especially on special teams. But the team's been doing great at staying out of the penalty box. What's been the key on the discipline for this team?
I think we just haven't been taking stick penalties, and we've been playing smart in between the whistles and nothing after the whistle. We definitely have been focusing on staying out of the box, and I think we've done pretty well at it. We got to stay out of the box because we're a great team 5-on-5. We're good at the PK, but you just got to stay out of the box because that's where it kills you every game.
And for a player, 3 and 3s, it's tough on you mentally, it's tough on you physically. I guess what's the toughest part when you're playing 3 games in under 3 days?
I think just got to take care of your body and just take game by game. You can't look ahead and look at the next game. You just got to focus on that game, that period, that shift, and just take it from there. So
the plans now, you've got the 3-3 coming up, and then right after that, it's another busy week at home against teams right around Thanksgiving, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, all at home here at the Coliseum. Going into the holidays now, being away from your family, do you have any plans with the billets or with your family coming in? How tough is it to be able to see everybody?
I think I got used to it living away from home, so it's not too hard on me. I talk to my family on a pretty consistent basis, but I'm not going to see them during Thanksgiving. I'll see them during Christmas, but it won't be too difficult. I got a great billet family that brought me in, and like one of their kids, so I'll just spend the Thanksgiving with them and then see the family in Christmas time.
Well, Bedsy, I appreciate the time, and definitely get some time to see the family coming up in the next couple of weeks when we head back to Muskegon, and we'll be back out in Ann Arbor soon as well.
All right, thanks, Brian. I appreciate it.
Well, that's Shane Bednard. We'll have to get you back on the mic sometime before the year's over.
That'd be nice. I appreciate that, too.
We'll be right back. Stick around right here on BloomingtonThunder.tv. We'll have Josh Shellman right on the mic here on Off the Tracks. Hey Thunder fans, welcome back to Off the Tracks right here from the U.S. Cellular Coliseum. Our next guest is defenseman Joshua Shellman for your Bloomington Thunder. Shelly, I appreciate the time here. And
Yeah, thank you. Proud to be here.
so, obviously, coming into this year with the Bloomington Thunder expansion organization and yourself joining into really your second take into the USHL, as you already had a little bit of experience, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. But let's talk about you growing up and getting ready to play hockey, and you're a guy from up in Michigan, right?
Yeah, I started just as a little guy, Dad put me on the skates and around when I was 2 or 3 and just went through like the MITE program and made my way up. And when I could first go to AAA, I went into it and played for Little Caesars, and I moved around in a couple teams, Caesars and Honey Baked, and I finished out my midget major year with Bell Tire with Chris Corey. And then I made my way into the USHL with Indiana and played 20 games, and then just wasn't, young guy, wasn't prepared enough, I don't think, and went down and played in the North American League for the rest of that season. And I played last year in the North American League and had a good year with Michigan Warriors, and Mo Manta really helped me out a lot. Really good guy, love him to death. And Coach Williams gave me a chance this year, and trying to just make the best of it, that's for sure.
So the growing up part and the parental thing, I always like to see how the families really adapted to guys moving away from home and starting to get into this hockey life, because it really does take up a lot of your time. How were your parents at accepting the whole I'm going away from home and start pursuing this?
I mean, it's my 3rd year being away from home. I mean, obviously, when I left and went to Indiana, it was a hard go for them. I mean, I'm only a young guy, and it's the first one getting away. I have a younger sister that was still in high school when that happened for me, and last year and the year before that, it was all right, but last year was probably the best year for me. My sister went off to college, and I really helped my parents out with that, adapting to it. She only went 45 minutes away from home to Adrian. And then I was in Flint, so I was only an hour and a half away from home. So if I really wanted to go home one night, I could just make the drive home for Sunday dinner if I needed it or anything. But as you get older, as a 20-year-old for me, it's really easier for yourself to prepare yourself to get ready to go and all that. So you're gonna get ready to live your life anyways. Might as well start early, I say.
So tell me about the getting into the USHL and the playing with Indiana. Obviously, you mentioned you were a young guy when you started out in the league, but how does that help you now moving forward? And those 2 years in Michigan, how did it help you prepare and better your game?
Well, it adapted me. I can say that's for sure. Playing Indiana and when I was a young kid, and it really showed me how tough this league is to play in. That's for sure. There's NHL draft picks. There's more than everyone pretty much. There's 10 or 12 guys in each team that are Division I scholarships. There's no bad players in this league at all. Going to the North American League, it was a little change because obviously you can have a whole team of 21-year-old guys. They're just a bunch of older guys. But it's a hard league, but it's fun. This league definitely, it's a lot more skill than the North American League, but it's good depth, that's for sure.
So how do you think you're adapting? Obviously, throughout the first couple weeks here of the season, and then actually first couple months. I'm already into November. How do you think you're adapting as to playing in this league and moving your career forward?
Well, I feel like I'm starting to make a good adaptation here. It was a little bit. It's a lot faster than North American League from last year, but I'm making adaptations here, and Willie and Coach Mahood are helping me out a ton. They're 2 good guys. You can't beat them for sure. Be head coaches, so that's the best part about it.
So coming from the North American League, what is the environment like in the North American League? Obviously, there's more travel because it's not centralized. And do you guys take more planes and stuff around?
Well, last year we made 2 plane trips. We made one to Wenatchee and played there for a weekend, and then when we made it to the Robinson Cup semifinals, we went and played in Alaska, which was a real far go. 2 5-hour flights, and you're used to just an 8-hour bus ride was a big change for you. But normally it's just a bus ride. The Wenatchee guys, they stay in a hotel more than you're pretty much at home. It's ridiculous how them guys travel, but it's mostly an 8-hour trip, round trip with bus.
So tell me about the school environment of all these leagues, and growing up and being away from home. You're taking classes as well, trying to get yourself ready to move on to the next step, which is college. And you're still trying to take that. How much time do you take away from hockey to try and work on those classes at times? And is it tough for the young guys getting into the league?
I mean, for me as a 20-year-old, obviously I don't have a college commit, but, working on that. But you got to have, as a 20-year-old, if you're going to, you got to take your 12 credits. It's kind of hard for you. I mean, obviously for me, I've been taking college credits my whole junior career, and I mean, 1 or 2 classes here and there, it really helps you going into school. But I mean, me turning 21 before the end of the season, I got to take a full semester of 12 classes. 12 credits. So
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty tough. But I mean, it's just you got to manage your time well. You just got to get in, get it done, and you still got to be performing good at the rink. So
I'm talking to Josh Shellman here on Off the Tracks. Bloomington has a couple games this weekend. I guess a couple. You could say it's a plethora of games this weekend as take on Youngstown Phantoms at the U.S. Cellular Coliseum this Friday and Saturday, and then head to Muskegon to take on the Lumberjacks on Sunday. And Shelly, I know the trips to Youngstown haven't been too kind to the team, but you head forward and into this weekend. How do you guys kind of counteract? I know a lot of it has to do with discipline with the special teams for Youngstown, but how do you kind of stage up against the Phantoms this weekend?
Well, we just got to come in, and we've been making really good steps forward. I think since we had that drought with them, it was pretty bad. But I mean, we've been making really good steps forward. The guys are buying in, which is really good. And actually, the special teams with Youngstown is probably the biggest thing. I mean, they're a great team. They got a lot of good players. They're gonna bury on you if it's 5-on-4. I mean, you just gotta stay out of the box. I mean, 5-on-5, we feel that we're probably one of the best teams in the league 5-on-5. So we're just gonna stay out of the box and just play 5-on-5 hockey. We should be pretty fine with them.
Tell me about the homecoming this past weekend, heading back to Michigan, and what was it like to get back to playing in Michigan and obviously play against USA team this weekend and put out a pretty good performance against the 18s.
Man, you can't beat going home. I mean, obviously having all your family there and having them to come support you is the best part, and playing hockey in front of them since you've been playing with them in front of them for your whole life, and it's just a good feeling having them in the stands for you. But I feel we played pretty well. I mean, we took them into a seven round shootout, I think, and I thought Dave did a heck of a job in net for us, and we'll get them here. We got a point, so that was a big part for the weekend. So
let's touch on the college atmosphere and getting ready for college and looking for that commit, obviously, and really, what are you looking for in a college to try and to get yourself up to the college ranks and play there, and also looking for a full-time place to live, really, when you head up to college?
I mean, it's just trying to get it right now is the hardest part. I mean, you got to play your game the way. I mean, Willie and Coach Mahood are going to help you more than anything you need. I mean, obviously Willie and Coach Mahood had so many college scholarships for guys throughout and helping so many people. I mean, I feel like since I've came here, they've helped me more than anyone ever has. And it's just getting ready and just getting that. Once you get that one, it's really they come to you. So it's going to be pretty good here once I get something here and there. But I'm an older guy, so usually older guys get it going here after Christmas, so hopefully something good comes out of it. So
what's it like being one of the older guys in the locker room and just kind of instilling some of your wisdom to some of the younger guys in the room? I know there's quite a few vets from the league, but also a guy like yourself who's been around, just to bring to some of the younger guys.
Well, it's just them guys are coming in and they don't really know what they're getting into. I mean, they feel like they know what they're getting into, but obviously, I mean, being around, you don't. I mean, the bus traveling is going to take a toll on you. The 9-hour bus trips and all that's going to get on you. But it's just, for a younger guy, just looking up to an older guy, watch what they're doing, see what they're doing on and off the ice. That's what I did my first year, second year, even my second year when I was a veteran guy. I still had to look up to the older guys than me and just see how I can help myself out, because it's a big part when you got the older guys with you.
Well, Shelly, I appreciate the time here, and best of luck with that commitment. We'll keep you on the radar.
Thank you very much.
Get you on the mic soon. All right, that's Josh Shellman, defenseman for your Bloomington Thunder. That's all the time we have here on Off the Track. Stick around next week after the Bloomington Thunder finish up their weekend, 2 games against the Youngstown Phantoms. You can give us a call, 309-434-2980 to get tickets for those 2 games, Olive Garden Family Night on Friday and O'Brien Mitsubishi specialty jersey auction on the Saturday night, and then Bloomington heads on the run. You can catch all of the action on portal.stretchinternet/WJBC. Catch all the games there, starting with the pregame show 15 minutes before puck drop on all those. For Josh Shellman, head coach Dennis Williams, and Shane Bednard, I'm Brian Tosti saying so long. We'll catch you next week right here on Bloomington Thunder TV. Keep it on the tracks, everybody.